Do your worries ever spiral, those nagging thoughts that just won't quit? Does anxiety ever feel like it's taking over, casting a shadow on your day and making it hard to focus on anything else? We all experience moments of worry. It's a natural part of being human. But what happens when those worries start to snowball, turning a small concern into a full-blown catastrophe? It's like a tiny pebble starting an avalanche, or a single drop of water creating a flood. This is what we call catastrophic thinking, and it can leave you feeling overwhelmed and helpless. You're not alone. Many people experience this, and it's important to remember that you're not flawed or weak because of it. Our minds are powerful, incredibly so, but they can sometimes get stuck in unhelpful patterns, like a record skipping on the same groove. These patterns can lead to increased stress, anxiety, and even depression. The good news is that our brains are also incredibly adaptable. We can train our minds, just like we train our bodies, to be healthier and more resilient. We can learn to recognize those unhelpful patterns and develop new, more positive ways of thinking and behaving. It's like learning a new skill. It takes practice, but it's absolutely achievable. Welcome to MindBloom Haven. I'm Chris, and today we'll explore cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, a practical toolkit filled with techniques for breaking cycles of anxiety, stress, and low mood. Think of it as a set of tools you can use to cultivate a healthier mental landscape. I'll walk you through 4 CBT techniques, each designed to help you take control of your thoughts and feelings. These techniques are simple, yet powerful, and can be easily integrated into your daily life. First, we'll focus on challenging negative thoughts, learning to identify and question those automatic negative thoughts that pop into your head. Next, we'll explore creating a balanced perspective. This involves looking at situations from different angles and finding evidence to support more positive or realistic viewpoints. Then we'll delve into using behavior to boost mood, discovering how engaging in specific activities can positively impact your emotional state. And finally, we'll explore bringing mindfulness into daily life, learning to be present in the moment and observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment. By the end of this journey, you'll have 4 new tools, practical and effective techniques to help you cultivate a healthier, more peaceful mind. So grab your metaphorical gardening gloves and let's get started. Let's explore a powerful tool for managing anxiety, cognitive restructuring. This technique is all about changing the way you think, which in turn changes the way you feel. It's a method that empowers you to take control of your thoughts and, consequently, your emotional well-being. Cognitive restructuring involves becoming a detective of your own thoughts. It's about stepping back and observing the patterns and tendencies of your inner dialogue. Automatic negative thoughts, often referred to as ants, can pop up seemingly out of nowhere. These thoughts often feel like undeniable facts, absolute truths that dictate your reality. But the crucial thing to remember is that they're just thoughts. They are interpretations, not necessarily reflections of reality. They are mental events, not concrete truths. Imagine Emma, feeling incredibly anxious about an upcoming work presentation. She finds herself thinking, "I'm going to fail. I'll embarrass myself in front of everyone." Instead of blindly accepting this thought as gospel, she pauses and asks herself, "Is this 100% true? What's the actual evidence to support this belief?" She begins to challenge the automatic negativity. She consciously remembers the thorough preparation she's done, the positive feedback she's received on past presentations, and her history of successes. She starts balancing her initial fear with objective facts. The goal here isn't to force toxic positivity or deny genuine concerns. It's about cultivating a more realistic and balanced perspective. Emma shifts her thinking to, "I'm feeling nervous and that's okay, but I'm also well prepared and I'm capable of handling this." This subtle but powerful shift in perspective helps calm her anxiety and ultimately changes how she feels about the upcoming presentation. It allows her to approach the situation with more confidence and less dread. Treat your thoughts as hypotheses, not unshakable truths. Question their validity, examine the evidence for and against them, and be willing to revise your thinking based on what you discover. Just like a gardener tends to their plants, choose which thoughts to nurture and cultivate. Focus your energy on the thoughts that are helpful, supportive, and aligned with your goals. Cognitive restructuring is fundamentally about pulling out those mental weeds, the negative, unhelpful thoughts that are hindering your growth and well-being, and in their place planting healthier, more balanced, and more realistic beliefs that will help you thrive. It's about creating a mental landscape that supports your well-being and empowers you to navigate life's challenges with greater resilience. Now let's make this process practical with the thought record, a structured way to challenge thoughts. Write down the situation, your automatic thought, and rate how much you believe it. Next, list your emotions and their intensity. Then, gather evidence for and against the thought, be objective. Create a balanced alternative thought based on the evidence. Re-rate your belief and emotions, you'll often notice a real shift. With practice, this becomes a mental habit giving you agency over your mind. Try it next time you feel overwhelmed, just jot down the steps and see how your perspective changes. Our third technique is behavioral activation, using action to change how you feel. When we're down or anxious, we withdraw, which worsens our mood. Behavioral activation breaks this cycle by scheduling small, rewarding activities, even if you don't feel like it. Emma, feeling stressed, schedules a short walk after work. She doesn't wait for motivation, she acts first. The result? A small mood boost and a sense of accomplishment. Start with simple actions. Listen to music, tidy a corner, text a friend. Choose activities that align with your values and schedule them as appointments with yourself. Remember, action precedes motivation. Do something small to start feeling better. Our final technique in this journey of cognitive and behavioral exploration is mindfulness-based CBT. This approach integrates the principles of cognitive behavioral therapy with the practice of mindfulness, offering a powerful tool for managing thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. It's about learning to observe your internal experiences without judgment, creating a space between you and your reactions. Mindfulness-based CBT centers around changing your relationship to thoughts through mindful awareness. Instead of being swept away by your thoughts, you learn to observe them as passing events in the mind. This shift in perspective can be incredibly liberating, allowing you to respond to situations with greater clarity and intention, rather than being driven by automatic reactions. Mindfulness, at its core, means paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It's about fully experiencing what is happening right now, rather than getting caught up in worries about the future or regrets about the past. It's a skill that can be cultivated through practice, and it forms the foundation of mindfulness-based CBT. Let's consider Emma again. When Emma's mind races with worry, instead of immediately getting caught up in the content of those worries, she practices mindfulness. She notices the thought, acknowledges its presence, and observes it without getting carried away. She might say to herself, "There's that fear again," recognizing the familiar pattern of anxious thinking. This simple act of labeling creates a separation between Emma and her thoughts, preventing her from being completely consumed by them. And then, she gently lets it pass, like a leaf floating down a river, rather than getting caught up in its current. She understands that thoughts are not necessarily facts, and that she has the power to choose how she responds to them. One of the most accessible ways to practice mindfulness is by focusing on your breath. The breath is always with you, and it serves as an anchor to the present moment. As you focus on your breath, you'll inevitably notice that your mind wanders. This is perfectly normal. The key is to gently return your attention to your breath, without judgment or frustration. Each time you bring your attention back, you're strengthening your ability to be present. Beyond formal meditation, you can bring mindfulness into your daily activities. This involves paying attention to the sensations, thoughts, and emotions that arise as you go about your day. For example, when washing dishes, instead of thinking about other things, feel the water, notice the temperature, the texture of the soap, and the movement of your hands. Or take a moment to simply notice the sounds around you, the birds singing, the wind rustling through the trees, or the hum of traffic in the distance. By practicing mindfulness, you can interrupt and break cycles of rumination, where you get stuck in repetitive negative thinking. Mindfulness brings calm by helping you see thoughts as temporary events, like clouds passing in the sky, rather than fixed and unchangeable facts. This understanding can significantly reduce anxiety and improve overall well-being. So, let's try a few mindful breaths right now. Wherever you are, take a moment to settle in and bring your attention to your breath. Notice the sensation of the breath entering your body, and then notice the sensation of the breath leaving your body. If your mind wanders, gently return your attention to your breath. Notice, return, repeat. This simple practice is always available to you, no matter where you are or what you're doing. It's a tool you can use anytime you need to ground yourself in the present moment. Use it to help you reconnect with the present, reduce stress, and cultivate a greater sense of peace and well-being in your life. You now have 4 powerful CBT tools to tend your mind's garden: cognitive restructuring, the thought record, behavioral activation, and mindfulness. These are lifelong skills. Choose one to try this week. Be gentle with yourself. This is a practice, not a performance. Share in the comments which technique you'll try. Your story could inspire others. Subscribe to MindBloom Haven for more mental wellness tips, and check out our mindfulness video for beginners. Thanks for joining me. Remember to be kind to your mind.